It's live. I'm waiting.
Hi everyone, it's Gina K from Gina K Designs and welcome to Stampin' Chat. I'm so excited to see all of you here. I've been kind of looking at your comments and I see that people are here from all over the US and all over the world, and it's just an honor to be here. So tonight we're going to talk about storms. Did you guys have a big storm where you were? Today, the Midwest, right across Iowa and Indiana, Illinois, and up into Wisconsin, we had some massive storms. In fact, I didn't know if we were even going to be able to be live tonight because there's 11,000 people out in the Milwaukee area that have no power. They're out with power. So, but there are some things that you can only learn in a storm. Beneath our clothes and our reputations, our pretensions, beneath our religion or lack thereof it, we're all vulnerable to both the storms outside and the storm within. So it's always important to be kind. Well, I'd like to welcome you all here tonight for some crafting fun. Tonight, we are going to do some of my favorite color combinations for layering stamps. I often look in the group and see what you guys are hoping that I will do in a live, and this one has come up over and over again. So I thought I would use an old stamp set from the past, and this one is called Painted Autumn. So I'm going to use this stamp set, and this is actually, you can do up to 4 steps of stamping with this set. And I'll just give you a little rundown of what I mean. So this is the solid stamp. There's also a smaller version of this flower. It just goes in the opposite direction. And so you can stamp this in a solid color. You always want to use the lightest color for the biggest, darkest stamp. And then you're going to go to the next color up, which is this image. And then you can go to this image with even the darkest, deepest, or brightest color. Now, the 4th step for this stamp would be to actually lay down this outline on top if you want, or you can just stamp the outline and color it, or you can just stamp the outline onto solid color. So there's lots of different ways to use this set, and I really, really love this one. I think this is really fun. Now, for the leaves, there's 2 steps for this one. And there's 2 steps for this one. No, there's 3 steps for this one. 1, 2, 3. And there's 3 steps for this one. This one just has 2 steps. But when you put them all together, they look absolutely stunning. So we're going to play with these tonight. Now, I'm also going to show you how I like to lay out my layered stamps on my MISTI for fast card making, where you can just stamp over and over and over again, lots of different flowers and stamps and things without having to realign the stamps every time. Now, the one thing that you do want to do is if you're going to do some mass producing of layered stamps, you want to cut out some cardstock that's all the same size. So this piece of cardstock is 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2. So I just took some pieces of white layering weight. This is the Gina K Designs layering weight cardstock. And I just cut it into 4s. I didn't do any fancy trimming or anything like that. And I'm going to start down here at the bottom of my MISTI. And this is where I'm going to place my first images. Okay. So I'm going to start with this big solid stamp. Now, one little trick I want to show you is, at least on our stamps, I don't know if it's like this on other company stamps, but on our stamps, what we try to do most of the time is lay the stamps down in the position that you should stamp them. Now, the reason why that's important and why it helps is because once you have this stamp laid down into the similar position, you take it off the stamp sheet and you place it on your cardstock, then this next one is in the right position. You don't have to fiddle around with it trying to find the orientation. Same with this one. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to start with this one over here. So I'm going to stamp a couple of flowers. Let me just take the whole backing off here. Okay. So I'm going to stamp this one. And when I take it off the stamp sheet, I like to look at it to see where I'm stamping it. I mean, to see what position it's in. Okay, so I'm going to put that one right there. All right, so you can see that's kind of the opposite image. All right, so that's my first image. Now, I guess I could probably do a leaf here. I think I can. I'll do the leaves later. I just want to get the flowers done first. Sometimes when I'm very, when I'm feeling overzealous, I will do more than one thing and more than one color at a time. Okay, so you see I've picked that up with the Misty. Okay, so you do want to make sure your cardstock is right in that corner. And then I always like to have my tidy towel close by because I want to clean my stamps when I'm done. And then I'm going to start with my favorite combination for layered stamps because this is not one that a lot of people would think of. I'm going to use sweet corn, peach Bellini, and faded brick. This is a beautiful combination, and I know that everybody normally thinks of like this kind of thing where you're doing 3 different greens together, where you go from light to medium to dark. These are just like way different, but they look so pretty together, and they really make a beautiful autumn card. Okay, so yes, I'm using the Painted Autumn stamp set for this. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, which is the sweet corn. And I noticed a couple people, maybe 1 or 2 people said that they're having trouble with sound. A lot of times if you just go out and come back in, the sound will be there. So, okay, so this is Painted Autumn. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ink up both of these stamps together. I know you can't really see me inking up because our little name is right there, but that's okay. You guys know what it looks like to ink up a stamp, right? Okay, and I'm going to stamp this down onto my cardstock. Now, if you want that even brighter or deeper, you can stamp it a second time, but I think that that looks pretty good and pretty solid. Now, I'm going to clean the stamps, but I'm not going to remove them. So they are still in that same position. They're just clean, so they're not going to get in my way. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the cardstock. Let's see if this will work. Yep, this will work. Okay, so I'm going to turn the cardstock this way. And then I'm going to place my magnet here. And now I'm going to position the second stamps, which is going to be this stamp. And it's going to be this littler stamp up here. So now I'm going to pull this off. And what you can do is like you can check it first and make sure you know where you're positioning it. So it's going to look like that. And that's looking pretty good. So you get the idea. You can kind of see where it is. Then you can kind of look at the stamp and make sure that that's the position it's going to be in. And now I can place that stamp right in the right position. And I can kind of see I'm really lining up these 3 little bumps up here. And that's looking pretty good. Now, what I love about Painted Autumn, this stamp set, you don't have to be perfect. So if you don't get it perfect, don't worry about it. It still looks really good. I've had people tell me they just stamp it any which way. They don't know how it goes. But it still really looks good. So I'm going to do the same thing. You see these 3 little bumps up here? Let me see if I can zoom in. I don't know if it's gonna zoom away, I think. But you can see there's 3 little bumps up there. I'm gonna line them up. And then make sure that I have my stamp in the right position. Okay. So now I'm gonna line those up. And don't worry about it taking a little while for you to line them up. I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world to just look at it and throw the stamp down and be in the right position. But if you're going to be mass producing like I am, it doesn't matter because once you get them on here, you can do all these cards of flowers and then you can have them for later. You can, cut them out, whatever you want to do, and they'll be ready. Okay, so I am pulling that up. And I have to make sure that my cardstock is back in that position. Now I'm going to turn my Misty again so you guys can see this a little bit better. So now I'm going to use my second color, and that's the Peach Bellini. Now, if you have big ink pads, you might want to keep your tidy towel nearby just in case you get it on the stamp next to it. But if you have I'm going to see if I have one. I do. No, I don't. Maybe I do. Wait, my light's in the way. Gotta move my light. Here we go. So I have a Peach Bellini ink cube here, and ink cubes are really convenient for when you're using the wreath builder or when you're using layered stamps. So I'm gonna stamp these, and this way I don't have to worry about getting the ink on the other stamps. I'm just inking that up, and I'm going to stamp the second layer. Okay, there we go. So there's my second layer. You can see what that looks like. Now, it's not as exciting until you get that third layer on, but so that's that position. That's the second layer position. Now I'm going to clean those stamps because I don't want those to get on anything. And now I'm going to flip my MISTI over this way, and I'm going to position the third layer down here. Now, this is just a great way. I mean, you're taking the time now to do it right so that you can mass produce them and just go to town. Now, if you've just recently ordered the new MISTI, you might have the old MISTI laying around. If you love this stamp set, you can set it up and leave it, and then you can just use it whenever you want. Okay, so now we're going to go with this one, and I want to look at the position here. So I want to see where this goes. So let's see here. I think, let's see, this is this way. So that should go right there. All right, so we're going to try it right there. Not that it really matters all that much because you can see it's just going to fill in the inside. And that's all that really matters. But I'm going to make sure I have my stamp in the right position. That's the right position. And then I'm going to lay that on top like that. All right, here we go. Okay, I think that looks good. And so the thing about this one is it's on the inside a little bit more, so even if it's not spot on, it's not going to hurt the die cutting at all. All right, and this one, just want to look at it. Okay, I'm going to put that one right there. Oops. I got to position it again because I flipped it around in my hand. There we go. That's the position. All right. We'll put that right there. Let's see how that looks. You can go back over it again to make sure it looks good. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll move it a little bit like there.
Does this set have a coordinating die?
It does. And I'm going to use that tonight too. Let me lay this down here one more time just to make sure I have it in the right spot. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. I want it right like that. Okay. So now I'm going to pick these up. And again, this is such a fluffy flower that even if it's not perfect, it's not going to matter all that much. So I'm going to get my faded brick ink cube. Sorry, I'm moving my light around. I hope that's not changing on you. And I'm going to ink these up with faded brick. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp my final layer. Oh, isn't that pretty? Now let me zoom in here by just lifting it up, my automatic zoom. There you go. Isn't that just a beautiful color combination? I love this one. It's sweet corn, peach Bellini, and faded brick together. To me, this is like the ultimate fall color combination. It just feels like the kinds of flowers that you would see in pots all over people's front porches in the fall. So I'm going to stick with that color combination for my, my card that I'm going to make tonight. Now, I can put more flowers on here. Okay, so let me clean this. We're going to do, now wait till you see how quick this goes, because I need more flowers for my finished card. So now I can use this side, right? I can use this side. So now I'm going to start with sweet corn on my big flowers, my big solid ones. Okay. And I don't think I got any on there. All right, so now I'm going to do that first layer. Pick that up. Clean that because I don't want that to go anywhere. Now I'm going to turn it to the side. And I'm going to do my peach Bellini next. Yeah, I hope you guys are all okay. I know a lot of people were like, oh no, I can't go on the live tonight. I have no power. I don't have enough internet, or I don't have enough, I guess, whatever you have left on your phone, you know, when you use up all your time. So some people are missing it tonight, but the replay will be there. Okay, so there's the second layer. And now I'll go up here. I don't even have to turn my Misty because I know what I'm doing now. And I'll just go with the faded brick and I'll ink those up. And I will stamp that. So isn't that fun and easy? Such a really quick and easy way to stamp up a whole bunch of flowers. Now, you know, you have these flowers on here. Why not stamp them in a bunch of different colors to see what the colors look like now that you have them all lined up? So I think we're going to do that together with some other color combinations that I really like for flowers. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to be using that one again. So I am going to try the next color combination. I like blues, and I think the blues, let me find my ink cubes for these. The blues are just amazing. And you think like, okay, I have turquoise sea. Do I really need blue lagoon? I have sea glass. Do I really need ocean mist? The subtle difference is when you're using them with layered stamps is just amazing. So I have turquoise sea and blue lagoon here in ink cubes. And I actually brought out the big ink pads. I'm going to use sea glass for the base. So let's make some blue lagoon and sea glass and turquoise sea flowers. Now, if you're part of our Facebook group, you should definitely join our Facebook group if you're not. It's Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Join our Facebook group. Let me stamp this first. Okay. I might want to do a second layer of this color just to get it a little bit brighter. Join our Facebook group because I am going to do a document and something that you guys can print out with all of my favorite color combinations. And there's a lot of fun files over there that you can grab on our website. On our Facebook page, we have, I've got like all the card measurements, and I post all kinds of files in there for, you know, like little cheat sheets that you can print and maybe make a book of all your favorites, different layouts for our master layouts, die set, all that kind of stuff. And okay, so now I'm going to turn it this way, and I am going to go with turquoise sea next. So this is the second flower in turquoise sea. I really like this combination. It's not even a realistic card, like not even a realistic flower combination, but it's so pretty. Okay, so here's turquoise sea. See that? Really pretty together. And I have lots of other combos than the ones I'm going to just show you here tonight. I'm just showing you a few, but I have lots of other ones to share as well. Okay. And now I'm going to do the blue lagoon, which a lot of people think looks just like turquoise sea, but it does not look just like turquoise sea at all. Here it comes, blue lagoon. You could also use tranquil teal for this. But blue lagoon, look at that. Isn't that pretty? There's so much depth once you get those other layers on there. There's just so much depth. So I'm going to flip it around because I don't see the point of wasting this. And for the next one, actually, I'll go on to the next color combination and I'll show you how I'll whip through the next one. All right. So the next color combination I'm going to try here is, I'm going to try, I like Dusty Rose. I think bubblegum would work, but I think even better than bubblegum, Innocent Pink. And I actually think Innocent Pink, Dusty Rose, and let's be really wild, Faded Brick. So I'm going to go through these colors now. Let's see how this looks. It's a little scary, but I think it's going to look good. Somebody asked about weights of cardstock. And yeah, when I'm making the card, I'll talk about that. Tom, write that down so I don't forget to talk about that. Card weights. We do have a couple different card weights in our collection, and I will talk about those. So I'm starting with Innocent Pink. All right. Innocent Pink, I love. It's almost like shrimp, you know, like it's just really, really soft, and it's a pink, but it lends itself to a warm pink. It's a beautiful baby pink. Okay. So there's Innocent Pink. Now I can just, you know, flip it around and do the rest of the Innocent Pink. So now I have 4 flowers going at one time. And of course, if you are mass producing cards, you can do, you know, 2 more of these before you move on to the next color. I'm going to give it one more shot. This is the same Innocent Pink ink pad that was my very first ink pad. And Innocent Pink was one of our earliest colors. So I have had this thing for years, and I do not own an Innocent Pink reinker. I need to get one because it's getting a little dry. Okay, so there I have my 2. You can see as it starts to dry, it starts to smooth out, and it goes into that very soft color that looks very much, it looks exactly like our Innocent Pink cardstock. All right, so now we're going to do the second color. And the second color I've chosen is Dusty Rose. So let's get the ink cube. Boy, I'm hoping this one looks good. I'm winging this one. I'm gonna try all of them before I make the document because I don't want to give you an ugly color combination pretending I know what I'm talking about. All right, so here we go. Dusty Rose on this one. Oh yeah. Look how nice that is. That's beautiful together. Dusty Rose is also a warm pink. And that's kind of why I'm going to go with Faded Brick versus Passionate Pink. And I'm also going to show you a way that you can stamp even if you don't have 3 coordinating colors. So we'll do that next. All right. There we go. Now we're going to move on to the last one, and that's the Faded Brick. So here we go. Faded Brick on that. I know it's going to look good. Faded Brick is it's a brick red, but it's in the same vein as the Dusty Rose. That was right on the stamp. Oh, that's going to be pretty. Look at how pretty that one is. Oh, these colors. So if you're having, you think the video's out of focus? I think we did focus pretty well. Tom's monitoring on his iPhone, and he's seeing okay. But it could be, you know, sometimes if the internet is slow or the internet is wet, sometimes things just don't work as cleanly. But usually the playback is really clear. So if you're having trouble watching it now because it's a little blurry or a little slow, sometimes the playback will be better. You getting a good reception, Tom? Okay. So that's that combination. Yeah, I like this because it's not like a hot pink. It's a very soft, elegant kind of pink combination. So again, that will go on my list. Now let me show you what to do if you don't have the colors you need. So here are 2 colors. I'm going to try this combination. I'm going to try Lovely Lavender and Plum Punch. Now Lovely Lavender is very, very light, and Plum Punch is very, very deep. So let me grab the ink cube for that one. So Lovely Lavender is so light, and mine is so old that I'm definitely going to stamp this twice to get a good impression. This is a beautiful color, though, too.
Why do you rub your stamp with your hand after cleaning with the tidy towel?
I just always, it's a nervous tick of mine. I'm just so nervous that it's wet and I don't want it to be wet. So I always have to feel it to make sure it's not wet. And I should know after feeling it the first time that it's not going to be wet, but I don't trust it. So it's what I do. Okay. All right. So there we go. There's the second layer of lovely lavender. Okay. So now I'm going to, because see, I don't want that, like if there's any wetness on there, I definitely want to feel it and I want to make sure that I sop it up with a paper towel or whatever. Sometimes I squeeze my tidy towel and some extra water comes out. Okay. So now here's my little trick. We're going to use Plum Punch on layer 2. So I'm going to ink this up really well with Plum Punch. I want to make sure it's nice and inked up solid. Okay. Then I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to stamp it once, like that. Then I'm going to stamp it a second time onto my stamps, onto my first layer. So now I've created a lighter version of that final color. So now I'm going to put that in that position. Clean that off. My tidy towel needs to be wet. And now I'm going to go with the final color here, which is Plum Punch again, but full strength. And I will stamp that. There we go. So that's kind of fun, huh? So if you don't have that right color that you're looking for, you can always do the stamp off once to get the middle color. And then you can always go back and do something fun with this, maybe a totally different combination. Just try something crazy and see what you come up with. Okay, so let's see. I have one more color combination to share with you. And this is if you like really, really vibrant flowers. So I'm going to go with Wild Dandelion, Sweet Mango, and Tomato Soup. So this is kind of a fun combination. Let's see if I have those ink cubes here. Sweet Mango, I have that, and Tomato Soup. Here we go. Okay. So I'll start with Wild Dandelion. Now you can also soften this up quite a bit by using sweet corn with this. So I'll do the other side with sweet corn so you can see how that looks. And then you can decide how vibrant you want your flowers to be. Okay, so this is the Wild Dandelion. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to stamp it on the other side with sweet corn, just so you have both colors. We also have Lemon Drop, which is really nice. And that would be really pretty for spring flowers if you were trying to do some, you know, Easter flowers. And, you know, these kinds of flowers, I know this stamp set is called Painted Autumn, but you can use this flower any time of the year. The reason why it's called Painted Autumn is because the greetings in it are kind of give thanks. There's give thanks. There's so thankful, and there's always something to be grateful for. And I always think of autumn time as being like gratitude season, where you make Thanksgiving cards and things like that. So that's why I think of the set that way, but you can certainly use it any time of the year. Just change out the greeting. Okay, so now we're going to use some Sweet Mango. We'll see how that looks on each of these colors. So Sweet Mango. Oops, gotta turn my cardstock. You do kind of notice that, though, when you're getting ready to stamp if it's not in the right position. Okay, so there we go. And then I'll put the sweet corn in there. And we'll do the same thing. Yeah, we had trouble last week with one of our lives last week where some people weren't able to get on YouTube.
What were those 3 colors again?
These colors, okay, so there's actually 4 colors. This one is the Wild Dandelion with Sweet Mango. This one is the Sweet Corn with Sweet Mango. So this is a more muted version. And then my third color for all of this is going to be tomato soup. And again, you can go to Facebook. It won't be done tonight, but I'll try to get it done sometime tomorrow or by Wednesday morning, all the color combinations that I think you guys would really like.
Don't forget to talk about card weights.
Yes, card weights. Thank you. I will not forget. Okay, and here is tomato soup. So there it is, bright and vibrant with wild dandelion. And then we'll do the milder version of tomato soup with the sweet corn. Is this tomato soup? Yeah. Okay. All right. I did that twice. You think I would have learned? Okay. So that one's really pretty too. But that is very similar to the one with peach Bellini. It's just a little more orange. But I love those big contrasts between the yellows and the oranges and those deeper reds. All right. Do I have any other color combinations to show? I do not have any more here, but I do have some leaves that I need to make. So we're going to make some leaves next. Okay. So I'm going to take all these stamps off. I will put them away later. I'll just get them out of the way now. And then I think I'll do a couple leaves together. So I'm going to do this one. And then I'm going to do this one. And this one. So this should be enough leaves for me. Okay. So we'll see how that looks. Well, maybe I should position them the way they're positioned here. And that will help me. So I can do that, and then that, and then that. I think I'm just going to use two. We'll see. I don't know that I need the whole. No, I'm going to use them all. I'm going to use them all. Now, this one you have to be careful, though, because this is the first one, and I have a tendency to put it like way down here, but this has a long stem. So you want to make sure that you put it up high enough that you can get that stem on there afterwards. All right. So my first color that I'm going to use is going to be apple mint. Now you could use either apple mint or key lime, either one of these. We'll do one of each to see how it looks. Okay. So we'll start with apple mint. We'll stamp that. Might like key lime more. All right, let me clean that. And then I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to do it in key lime. Key lime's an awesome color. I don't give it enough love, but I know my friend Kathy Z uses key lime a lot and she really makes it look great. Okay. So there's key lime. That is a fun color. Ooh, yes. Now, don't forget, if you really want vibrant layers, you can mix in some of Rena's Electropop ink in here as well. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to end up keeping the key lime because let me find my flowers here. I just think they're going to look really pretty together. I know that looks really vibrant right now, but when you get the other layers on. So let me make one more key lime. Was that thunder? I heard thunder. I'm not ready for thunder again. I did the dumbest thing, and I know I shouldn't have done it, but Tom and I were watching the weather, and we saw the storms coming, and I said, oh my gosh, I need to run upstairs right now and take a shower for tonight's live. And I know you're not supposed to, get in the shower when there's a storm coming, so that was not good. Okay, let's see this one now. We'll lay this one down first. This one should be easy to line up. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think that's going to look good. We'll see. Might not be perfect, but we'll see. whimsical. When it's not perfect, it's whimsical. And then this one, I'll lay on here like this. Should look pretty good. I do need stronger glasses. Absolutely need stronger glasses. Yeah, I need stronger glasses. All right, this is going to be good enough. And then we'll do that last one. Where'd he go? Oh, here he is. Yeah, I do need glasses because I couldn't even see that one on the thing. All right, I think that looks good. I'm winging it. If not, we're going to hope for the best. So I'm going to use Jelly Bean with this. So I have Jelly Bean right here. And I'm going to just do Jelly Bean all over. I don't need an ink cube for this because I have 3 images going here. Okay, we'll see how this looks. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, there we go. So my leaves aren't perfect, but I really like that color combination. So I'm going to keep it. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And I could add the outline of the leaf in a dark color and fresh asparagus. That would be my dark color, but I think I'm going to go just for the 2 steps here. And then I'm going to flip this around. And I don't know if I'm going to like this color combination because these are very yellowy greens. And I don't know that I'm going to like this together. No, I don't like that together. I like that one. But I feel like where they're blended in here, it's almost too much. So we're going to stick with those, kind of those yellowy greens. Okay, so now I'm going to make a card because I don't even know what time it is, but I think it's getting time to make a card. And I will get all these color combinations and I'll lay them out on the designs too, so that you can see the way the finished flowers look and the finished leaves look. So we'll try to, make sure that you get a good look at what they are when I make them. So now I'm going to cut these out real quick. I'm going to get my Spellbinders machine. So let's see here. Oh, sorry. I know that was really loud. That was right in the microphone. So Tom, if you want to flip over. So while I'm cutting these, because I'm just going to cut these a simple way, I'm not going to use my fancy cutting method. I'm just going to try to eyeball it. And while I'm doing this, I'll talk to you guys about cardstock weights, because I know a lot of you are interested in that. So cardstock weights can be deceiving because when we talk about cardstock, what we're really talking about is cover stock. Cardstock is a thick cardstock. It's what you're used to stamping with. So sometimes you might go on Amazon or you might run into a Walmart and you might see like a Nina cardstock. Here's what these look like. They're so cute. Okay, so you might see like a Nina cardstock and it might say 110 pound. And then you get it home and it's really thin and it's really disappointing. And that's because a lot of times they'll advertise it in those places as, 120 pound or 110 pound, but it's index weight. It's not cover stock. It's not cardstock weight. So what's really more important to look at, if you can look at it, is the GSM. Because the GSM tells you how heavy it really is. Now our cardstock, our white cardstock is, I think is it 280 or 300 GSM? I think it's 300 GSM. Our white and ivory. So that is like, that's heavy. That's going to feel like the Gina K Designs 120 pound cardstock. That is real heavy cardstock weight. That's the kind of cardstock you buy where you can put 20 layers on it, embellishments, and it's not going to fall over on the shelf. Now we also have a mid-weight cardstock, and that mid-weight cardstock is more like a 90-pound weight. It's a little thicker than it's a little thicker than a layering weight, but it's heavier than it's heavier than our layering weight, but it's much lighter than our heavy base weight. Our colors are 270 GSM, which is basically 100-pound cardstock. That's what most of your favorite cardstock would be 100-pound. That's kind of the equivalent of, that's a good, nice, heavyweight cardstock. And most of the companies offer the 100-pound. Anything lighter, an 80-pound cardstock is nice for layers, but it does feel kind of flimsy in your hand. So you want to definitely go with 100-pound cardstock for color. And then you can use, I'll say, a 90 to 100-pound for the base. So our mid-weight and our heavy base weight will make a good card base. The mid-weight colors also work really well for layering. And of course, all of our cardstock works well for layering. But for, the heaviest cardstock, those real nice thick white card bases, you want to use our heavy base weight white. Okay, so if you want to just show them the overhead here, I've cut these 4 flowers out. Aren't they cute? And you can see, even if my lining up wasn't spot on, it's still all cut out perfectly with that cute little white edge. Okay, so now we'll go back to the other shot of me and my face here. So now I'm going to cut out the leaves. I'm going to do I like the lime ones. I really do. I think they're fun. I don't know if I'm going to get as good of a cutout as I did with, maybe I will. I've been using purple tape to just tack it down here. And that does help a lot. I also think that this stamp set is a really pretty stamp set to use in the wreath builder. You could do all one layer going all the way around and then do the next layer. I think it would be really pretty to have wreath cards like this. I should try that sometime when we have more time. All right, so I've got one vine. Let me do the other vine, and then we'll whip out those 2 leaves. I'm also going to cut out an oval. You guys know I love my shapes. I like to do ovals. I like to do circles. I love to have my shapes kind of grounding my card. Might even have to do some kind of little background here with the die cutting machine and a stencil. So one other little note here, little cleanup note, housekeeping note, is that I know a lot of you used our wish list on our website, and you also have used our Notify Me. Well, the last Notify Me round was terrible. The website didn't work properly, and a lot of people didn't get notified for things that they wanted. We have a new company that we're working with, and they suggested a different app for both the Notify Me and the wish list. So far, they're working really well. The downside of switching to the new app is we couldn't save your information. So I know that's kind of a bummer. We didn't know that that was going to happen, or we maybe would have been able to give you time to write down what was on your wish list. But I know a lot of you watch the videos, and you have an idea of what was on your wish list. So if you would go back and refill your wish list and retoggle any buttons that have things that are out of stock that you want, so that you do get notified and that you can kind of remember what you want. Now, of course, we have a new release coming up on Thursday night. I'm going to try to get Rena over here to do part of the release party with me, because she actually has something new in this release, which is really exciting. So that will be on, not Wednesday night, Thursday night. Did I say Wednesday night? I think I did. So that is happening. And then, so Wednesday night, Tom is going to join me for another live. And Tom, what are we going to do?
Shaving cream.
Yes. I figured that was a good man technique. Oh, you'll have to shave though. I'm going to look nice and groomed. So I'm getting my hair done again tomorrow by Rena Kay. And Tom is getting his hair done by Rena on Wednesday. So you're going to be fresh. You're going to have a fresh haircut. Are you excited?
Very excited.
I'm excited too. It's been a long time for you since you've gotten a haircut, since we've gone on lockdown.
Do you have any written resource for the cardstock?
Well, I can do one of those. I can do a written resource for cardstock. I can do that. So that'll be something else I will work on within this week, and I will get that document put up onto our store. Oh, why am I putting this away? I have one more thing to cut out. I want to cut out an oval. So let me grab my ovals from back here. I've got them all here. And I think I'm going to go with the mid-size oval, but I do want to check to make sure it's going to fit my greeting. I want to use, there's always something to be grateful for. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So instead of stamping first and cutting second, I'm just going for it. I'm going to cut this oval out, and I'm going to take my chances that I'm going to line it up properly. See how that goes. Okay, got my oval, and now I need my black layer for my oval. So I'm going to use the single stitched oval for that. Somebody was asking in our group if, what happened to the plain ovals that you guys always see backing my double stitched ovals. There aren't any plain ovals. The ones that you see backing up my double stitched ovals are actually the single stitched ovals, but the white oval covers the stitching, so it's kind of a dual use oval. So I really like that. You can use it with a single stitch, or you can use it as a backing layer for the double. Okay. Now I want to do one more thing. I'm going to grab, so let me grab it. Where is it? Where is it? I don't know where it is. I have to do something different. All right, I'll do something different. I wanted to do a little stenciling, but I don't know where my stencil plate is. Everything's a mess here. Everything is a mess. That's what happens when there's a new release right around the corner. Everything becomes a mess. So I think what I'm going to do is, I was playing with some ink blending here, so you can go to the overhead here, Tom. I'm going to use the stencil from the kit, the old kit, which is ornamental fan. And this one came in and went right back out of stock, but we have so many of these on order. It's not even funny. I think I placed a double order by accident because it was taking so long to get the first order that I forgot that I ordered it. So I think we're going to get a double order of this. So I'm going to put a little purple tape there. And then I think I can zoom in now because we've got everything that we need. And hopefully you guys can see all of these that I cut out. Aren't they pretty? Love that combination. You can see now it looks so much nicer once everything kind of calms down and smooths out. So I'm going to use some soft stone ink. This is a really nice ink. I can't use this. What am I doing? There we go. Is this soft stone? Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So I've got some soft stone ink here. And I'm going to just start in the center here, and I'm going to work my way out because the center is going to be covered with that oval. So I don't care if it's a little dark there. I just don't want it to be too dark. Just want it to feel almost like texture. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that looks pretty, huh? That looks really pretty. feel like I need a little bit more. Now, how am I going to line that up? There we go. Line that up again like that. Gonna do just a little more here. Feels like it needed more. If I cover the whole thing up with the oval, you're not going to see it. So there we go. Okay, that's pretty. And I love how see how it doesn't go all the way to the edge in spots. It's just very kind of simple. Okay, so we'll do that. And then we're going to adhere these two together, these two ovals. Now let me grab my tape. And I'm going to adhere these together, and then we're going to do the greeting. And I'm going to do the greeting on the Misty, just in case I mess it up. I don't want to, I want to be able to stamp it a second time. Okay, so let me get the Misty. Here's the Misty. And then I'm going to put a little tape on the back here, just to hold it in place. I'm going to make sure that it is straight. Then I'm going to use this greeting. There's always something to be grateful for. And I'm going to bump it up a little closer to the top because my flowers are going to kind of scoop down around the bottom. So I want to have a little scoopy spot there. And this is a very scripty saying, which is great because you don't really have to worry too much about it being perfectly straight because it isn't perfectly straight. So you probably won't notice it unless you really get it crooked. Okay, and here we go. Okay, looking good. All right, so I will pull that off, and that is not any residue left behind. That was just marks that the tape left. Okay, so now it is time to assemble this card. So I have this piece here left over, and I think I might be able to put that right on there. So that's what I'm going to do. This way I don't have to waste this piece. That's one way to save a little bit of cardstock. All right. And then I feel like peach Bellini would be a good color for this. So I think I'm going to go with the peach Bellini card base. Won't that be pretty? I usually use white. The stencil is the ornamental fan, and we do have more of it coming in. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to lay this out first the way I want it. So I'll put a big flower in the middle, and then I think I'll use these small flowers around the sides. And the thing is these flowers, I mean, there's no up or down or right or wrong, so you can really do whatever you want. Definitely need some vines coming out from underneath. And of course, the vines are going to be going in a different direction here, so we'll do that. We don't want them to look too uniform. And then I'll put a big leaf over here and a little one here. Okay. And then I'll put a big leaf over here. I think I'll put one more little one down here, kind of coming out like that. I'll turn that one.
What color was that in the stencil?
That is soft stone. Okay, so there's my layout. Now to remember my layout, I'm going to take my camera and I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I can destroy it so that I can put it all back together again, and I can just keep it over here on my side. So cameras are awesome for that. If you have a camera, that's a great way to go. So let me just take this off here, and we'll tape this down onto the peach Bellini. So peach Bellini is a mid-weight cardstock. It's not a heavy base weight cardstock, but I still don't mind it. I feel like it is a little bit heavier than an 80 pound, so it's still enough to give me something. And this will go right onto my card base. Ooh, I need tape. I need tape. I don't know if I have any more tape. I have tape. All right, so this is always my opportunity to show you how easy it is to load a Gina K Designs tape runner. So when it runs out, there's a little button on the bottom that says push, and you can push that, and then you just take this out and throw it away. And then the adhesive dot runner refills come in a 2-pack. And so for me, this is like one of those things where if there's a snowstorm coming, I need to make sure I have toilet paper, and I need to make sure I have tape runner. And then this just drops right in and shut. So that's how easy that is to load. I love my tape runner. Thank you, ThermoWeb, for making such amazing products. Okay, so I'm going to put that up there, and then I'm going to use some foam squares. Foam squares off to the side here. Got a roll of them, and I'm going to put some foam squares on the backs of these flowers. Just going to do one on each flower because I want there to be space under it so that I can slip those vines and things under there. So we'll put that one in the middle here, like that. And then this one, I have to look at my picture. Okay, so this one was tucked under like that. And then, see, I'm still looking at my picture. You can see my other one was tucked under over here.
What's the press and seal trick?
That's where you take a piece of press and seal and you just put it over the design and then you pull it off and the design stays intact. But I don't use that when I'm using foam squares because I put them on in the reverse order. In other words, I'm not putting my leaves down first and they would be underneath. So I don't really use that. Okay, so I'm going to, but I use press and seal for food. Okay, so now I'm going to slip that under there like that. Okay. I'm going to take this leaf and kind of pop it up a little bit there. There we go. And then the other one is kind of coming out at a little bit of a different angle to make it look a little different. So still need to get in there. Okay, that's how I had that one. Like that. And then the big leaf off to the side here. The other big leaf off to the other side here. And then these two I'm just going to kind of put together like that. All right. Put that one in there. And then we'll do this one. Oh, don't you just love die cutting all the little bits and pieces and having them all kind of so pretty? I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna move this. I want this to go here like that. And then I need to put a little more tape on that. And I'm going to sneak that one in so that it is on top here. There we go. Like that. There we go. Now I can press everything down, and there is my finished card. I like this one. I like that peach. So I definitely will work on these combinations so that you guys get all the combinations all the different color combinations that you need. And yeah, so there's the finished card. And I hope that helped to show you how to lay out the different stamps on the MISTI so you can mass produce, because there's nothing like being able to just whip through and have bunches of different flowers to cut out at another time. Very, very fun. All right. So did we make it? Oh, 7:59. Is this going to be 1 minute exactly? No, because you know I have to finish with a quote. So I hope you guys are all safe from the storm that came through the Midwest, for those of you that are in the Midwest, and anywhere else that there's storms going on, and even storms in your life. And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure if the storm is really over. But one thing is for certain: when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person you were when you walked in. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I love every minute of this. I can't wait till Wednesday. Tom is going to be joining me for a shaving cream tutorial. And then we'll be back also on Thursday night with another live, including my illustrators. And hopefully I'll get Rena in and we have a brand new release to show you. So in the meantime, I love you all. Stay safe, stay healthy. Oops, let me fix one thing over here because, you know, I can't stand when I mess something up. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I love you all so much. See you again soon. Bye-bye.